Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to kill.
Any real dude that's ever really been in LA, he checked in. Any real dude that's ever been in Atlanta, he checked in. If you moving and you getting money, you gonna check in because you need to know the right places to be and places not to be. That's a businessman.
You think niggas wake up and just choose Boosie to steal from? You don't think there's better people to steal from? Like, it's not fucking happening. Boosie is not a victim, dog. Like, that nigga ain't no... Boosie is a fucking villain.
After he did what he did, she said, I know he wrong for forging your name and taking that money. Drop the lawsuit. I don't want to see my baby go.
Hell no. Mama, you got me
Family will hurt you more than a best friend, bro. Mm-hmm. A best friend will be more loyal to you than family. That's why you can talk to your best friend about certain stuff before you can talk to family. Because you know in your heart that they will cutthroat you.
Taquari Hatch is finally breaking his silence and spilling why his own brother allegedly had a hand in setting up Duke the Jeweler. And he's not just talking, he's bringing receipts to back it all up.
Boosie got diabetes. None of my aunts and uncles got diabetes. Boosie got diabetes because he was drinking lean. That's why he has diabetes, because he was going hard on lean, just like a whole lot of other rappers at a very young age. So he got fucking diabetes in his 20s. That is self-inflicted. Okay? Gotcha. Him beating the murder charge. Nigga, that's self-inflicted. Right? When it comes to him beating cancer. Boosie got cancer because
saying he put himself in that situation?
Mojo. He was smoking Mojo in prison because he couldn't smoke weed. And
what's Mojo?
Synthetic fucking weed.
That shit they call. What's that shit they call?
That shit is nothing but chemicals.
Yeah.
So
is that K2? K2 type.
So
shit.
of course he ends up they end up finding early signs of cancer. So what I'm saying is, man,
all his shit been self-inflicted. The people feel sorry for him.
In any situation, before you take a side, hear both sides of the story. Because if this is true, Boosie is manipulative and full of shit. What y'all think?
The claims he's making are heavy, and right in the middle of it all, Boosie had to jump in and defend himself. The drama swirling around Taquari Hatch, Duke the Jeweler's tragic death, and Boosie's crew is wild, and people are starting to question if Boosie and his camp are really as innocent as they claim to be. Duke lost his life in Houston right after a dice game where word is he walked away with a serious bag. Just before that heartbreaking moment, Duke and Boosie were spotted chilling together, and Duke even posted up a photo of them on his Instagram.
Man,
which tragically ended up being one of his final posts. But here's where it gets messy. Boosie is out here claiming he barely knew Duke. He said Duke just popped up at one of his shows and then rolled off on his own. Boosie told folks straight up, I had just met dude yesterday.
Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up, man. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We getting fucking money. That ain't our stilo. As a boss, I ain't letting that go down like that, man. This dude finna make me a piece. So y'all need to kill that. That's bad low, man. Don't put us in nothing with no bad low. It's bad low, man. This shit bad low, man. Straight up, the shit bad low. Kill it.
He even hit Vlad TV later to clear the air, saying with his chest that he had nothing to do with Duke's death. According to Boosie, they only crossed paths at the dice game, chopped it up for a minute, and that was it. Then, out of nowhere, Duke ends up gone. Boosie even admitted it shook him, saying if timing had been just a little different, it could have been him lying in that parking lot. That's how close things got. Boosie swears Duke walked off solo after the dice game, heading to his car, and that's when the tragedy went down. He's making it clear he wasn't anywhere near the scene when shots rang out. And he's standing firm, saying his squad doesn't move grimy like that they're too well off to be plotting on somebody just because they hit a lucky streak at a dice table.
He was walking to his car or something, and some dude tried to rob him. Some dudes tried to rob him. Some dudes had tried to rob me and walked off by himself, bro. I had just met dude yesterday. They tried to rob dude, man. Dude must ain't get up.
Ocean Flight Jack, we're up to departure. Flight attendants, please bear the captain.
Just met, he was in the garage. He must have walked outside to the parking lot. We was in the garage. We heard this, but it like they was far away in the parking lot. He must have went to his car or something, bro. Dude was finna make a piece of him, too. Dang.
But let's keep it real. Folks online aren't buying it one bit. They're side-eyeing every word, saying Boosie might be trying a little too hard to sound clean. Because if there's one thing the streets know, it's that the streets don't lie. The fact that Duke posted up with Boosie right before his death, that's not some random coincidence. It's a major red flag, and Boosie knows it too. That's exactly why he's doubling down, insisting that these rumors don't match his character. But let's be real, when somebody has to say over and over again that they're innocent, it usually makes people look twice. That one interview Boosie did had folks second-guessing his credibility big time, and the more he tried to explain, the shakier it all started to sound. And here's where things get messy. Boosie's crew isn't known for stepping to people unless something's really on the line. Boosie himself even bragged that his people are financially set, too good to be out here robbing or hurting anyone. So if that's really true, then why does this whole thing feel like there's way more to the story than what's being told? Something about it just doesn't add up. Now enter Taquari Hatch, the brother who has been calling out Boosie for family beef in the past. He's aired out claims of favoritism, shady business, and even fraud before. And now Taquari is out here saying he's got receipts that prove Duke was set up.
You think niggas wake up and just choose Boosie to steal from? You don't think there's better people to steal from? Like, it's not fucking happening. Boosie is not a victim, dog. Like, that nigga ain't no... Boosie is a fucking villain.
But here's the burning question. Why is Taquari even talking like this? Why is he so quick to throw his brother under the bus? Some people are starting to believe that Boosie's name might be way more wrapped up in this mess than he's letting on, and whatever truth is hiding here, it's buried under layers of family drama and street politics. So let's rewind and look at the Duke situation again. Duke the jeweler, a big name out of Chicago, pulled up to Houston for Labor Day weekend in 2022. Word is he came down there specifically to do business with Boosie, moving some serious pieces. Rumor has it he was carrying over $1 million in ice and cash. That same day, Duke was spotted at a celebrity boxing match, then later slid to a private dice game where Boosie and others were hanging out. Boosie admitted Duke went hard at the table, gambling heavy all night, but claims Duke never walked away with a win. Still, he swore Duke wasn't salty about losing. Boosie said Duke played it cool even after dropping nearly every dollar he had on him that night. But that only raises even more suspicion, because if Duke wasn't pressed over money, then why did he end up dead just hours later? Not long after their first link-up, Boosie asked Duke to design a diamond chain for him, and Duke, being all about respect in the game, agreed. He told Boosie he'd ice him out with a one-of-a-kind piece that would stand out from anything else in the streets. But just one day later, the unthinkable happened. Boosie was performing at a concert, Duke was there too, and after the show wrapped up, Duke headed out solo to his car. The problem? He never made it. Witnesses swear they saw two men jump out of a black GMC, run straight up on Duke, fire shots, and snatch his jewelry and bag before speeding off into the night. It looked less like a random robbery and more like a planned ambush. Too clean, too precise, too surgical. Yet Boosie has been sticking to his story from the beginning. It wasn't him, it wasn't his people. He says Duke left alone and that somebody must have been watching him, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. Now, with the feds stepping in, things are heating up even more. They're digging into who exactly was in that room and whether this whole thing was part of a larger setup. But the truth, No charges, no suspects, no answers, and Duke's valuables are still missing. Meanwhile, Boosie keeps talking, but none of what he's saying is clearing the fog around his name. The suspicion only grew stronger when Boosie got pulled over by police right after Duke was killed. At first, it looked like a routine traffic stop, but the timing was way too suspicious. This went down just hours after Duke was robbed and murdered, and the internet wasted no time connecting the dots.
Entertainer invites him in, act like he's covering for him, hanging out, everything is cool. Let's go here, let's go there, let's go here, let's go there. He introduces the dice game. He got 3 right, who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. Tell me, it's a Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators, right? He said, what? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler round and got past the dice on accident and was hitting on them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right? Boom. The only way they could get their money back was have their money back. He said, but Lil Cam, Wolf, and Big Caprice are the 3 designated to say I'm up, I got the next, and they passed the dice to each other, but they loaded.
When the feds officially confirmed they were running a separate investigation, everyone realized this wasn't just another typical rapper caught in some legal mess. This was bigger, way bigger. Then came Duke's brother Stax, who didn't hold back at all. He called it for what he truly believed it was, a straight-up setup. No sugarcoating, no hints, no dancing around. Stax said flat out that he believes Boosie lined his brother up. He's been poring over footage, timestamps, the whole 9 yards, trying to piece together the truth. And the picture he's painting is shaking the streets.
I gotta do my research, see what jeweler might have been down there shooting dice. But nevertheless, to all the entertainers, you know, Dukes of Hazzard was one of my favorite shows, right? I don't know if y'all watched it. I was thinking about Daisy Dukes for a reason. I don't know why I said that. You know, one might go with it, may not go with it, but I don't know. If the math is math, and let it math. But entertainers, beware of with Jay Prince Jr. when he talking about let's go shoot some dice. Because the loaded dice crew is 3 Lil Cam, Wolf, Big Caprice. We know Lil Cam in there because I believe somehow, some way he was caught up in the dice situation. Rest in peace, Takeoff. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know this, Jay Prince Jr. got a whole thing that when y'all come into town, hold on, bro. Didn't they say 5th Ward earlier that day shooting dice?
Yep, that's a fact.
Duke wasn't just another face in the crowd. He was a respected jeweler with celebrity clients and million-dollar pieces that turned heads everywhere he went. That night in Houston, he walked in proud, showing off his work, not knowing it would be the last time he'd ever shine like that. And then comes the bombshell. Reports say Houston PD discovered Duke's Louis Vuitton bag with his jewelry still inside, sitting right in Boosie's house. Not in a storage unit, not with a friend, in his house. Allegedly, Duke had asked Boosie to hold the bag for him during the dice game, but after Duke was killed, that bag never made its way back to his family. No police report, no official statement, it was just there like it belonged, and as if that wasn't suspicious enough, Duke's phone vanished too. No one saw it, no one spoke on it. But let's be real, Duke comes to Houston with over $1 million in jewels, links with Boosie, slides into a dice game, winds up dead, and somehow his bag is sitting in Boosie's house. That's not something the feds are about to overlook. And here's where it gets even more damning. The feds tracked Duke's phone because every device leaves a digital fingerprint. That phone didn't just vanish, it pinged at Boosie's recording studio before it went completely dark. That was the last known location. Now, let's be real. Phones don't just teleport on their own. So unless Duke's iPhone grew legs, somebody from Boosie's circle had it. That's already shady enough, but it gets worse. When investigators dug into Duke's rental truck, they weren't ready for what they found: Boosie's own nephew's fingerprint inside the vehicle. That's family blood, inner circle tied directly to the crime scene. And just when you think it couldn't get any uglier, word broke that Boosie's little cousin was also caught up in the mix. 2 family members connected straight to the evidence. That's not gossip, that's hard forensic proof. And while all this is unfolding, Taquari Hatch is right there, adding more fuel to the fire, pushing his narrative that Duke's death wasn't random. With cops uncovering fingerprints and digital trails, his words suddenly don't sound like family drama anymore. They're starting to sound like truth bombs exploding right in Boosie's backyard. An eyewitness said they saw Duke leaving Boosie's spot, and at first everything seemed normal. Duke looked calm, moving like it was just business as usual. But then things got eerie. Boosie's nephew slid out, not through the front door, but creeping from the side like he'd been waiting there the whole time. To a lot of people, that looked like the clearest sign yet that this wasn't random. This was a setup. According to both federal reports and street chatter, Duke wasn't caught totally slipping either. Word is he tried to swing first, but it was already too late. Boosie's nephew allegedly pulled the strap and let off shots. And just like that, Duke's life was cut short. This didn't look like a robbery gone wrong or some spur-of-the-moment beef. It looked personal, calculated, and planned down to the details. And here's where the feds are clamping down even harder. Duke's jewelry didn't vanish into the streets. It stayed in the circle. Reports say Boosie's cousin kept it. Whether that was straight robbery or just refusing to give it back doesn't matter. The fact is the jewels stayed with family, and that alone paints an ugly picture. Now we can't even break this all down without mentioning Taquari Hatch. Boosie and Taquari haven't spoken in years, and this isn't some little brotherly argument. It's full-blown war. We're talking lawsuits, fraud accusations, and over $360,000 allegedly snatched from Boosie's bank account, according to police reports and court documents. Boosie has accused Taquari of forging his signature and even helping Boosie's own artist, Young Blue, sign a deal with Empire behind his back. That's not just shady, that's betrayal written in ink. Of course, Taquari has denied it all, saying Boosie's tripping and none of the accusations are true, but Boosie isn't letting it go. He's made it crystal clear he no longer considers Taquari or his side of the family as part of his own. The divide runs deep. And what makes it even sadder? Boosie himself admitted the family pain hits harder because he feels like their own mother has always taken Taquari's side. Now, with Duke's death hovering over all of this, the family feud looks messier than ever. Even after all the lawsuits, all the accusations, and all the public fallout, Boosie admitted one thing that still cuts the deepest. He feels shunned by his own mother. He said that no matter what he's done or been through, she'll always side with Taquari Hatch. And what makes it worse? She's reportedly been pressuring him to drop the lawsuits altogether. To Boosie, that favoritism didn't just start when the money disappeared. He claims it's been his whole life. In his eyes, Taquari has always been the golden child, while he's been left to fight for scraps of respect. So now Boosie isn't just battling financial betrayal. He's carrying years of emotional wounds that have been ripped wide open in the ugliest way possible. From the outside looking in, it's heartbreaking. Nobody wants to see two brothers go to war in public, airing out their family's darkest secrets for the world to pick apart. But at the same time, we're not talking about a petty sibling argument here. $360,000 in alleged forgery plus legal filings that point to straight up betrayal, that's not something you just sweep under the rug at a holiday dinner. Boosie has made it clear there's no coming back from this. The lawsuits are still moving through the courts, the family bonds are shattered, and the emotional wounds are wide open for everyone to see. Sometimes the people closest to you will do you dirtier than any stranger ever could, and this feud with Taquari Hatch looks like the perfect example of that ugly truth. But here's the twist. While all this family drama plays out, Boosie still hasn't fully shaken off suspicion in the Duke the Jeweler case. And he's not the only one. J. Prince's name is floating around too, and the streets are demanding answers. Everybody's looking at J. Prince like, how could something like this even go down under his watch? He's famous for enforcing that check-in culture. If you come to Houston, you're expected to check in. That's the rule. And if you don't, you risk getting robbed, set up, or worse. So if Duke did check in like he was supposed to and this still happened, that's a huge problem, and it's got folks questioning whether the so-called protection in Houston is really protection at all, or just another setup waiting to happen. People in the streets started asking the real question, did somebody give the green light? Because when you're in J. Prince's city and something like this goes down, it automatically raises eyebrows about who really allowed it to happen. Folks remember clear as day that Duke was seen gambling with both Boosie and J. Prince Jr. just hours before he lost his life. That detail alone has people convinced there's way more to this story than anyone's letting on. J. Prince, though, wasn't having it. He came out swinging at the accusations, saying just because his name carries heavy weight in Houston doesn't mean he's pulling strings every time somebody gets hurt.
Cause, you know, niggas be throwing rocks and hiding their hand, right? They be throwing rocks and hiding their hand. And I I don't like them kind of individuals.
There supposed to be a certain protocol for people to check in?
No, and I begin with me, and then he can speak, and they can speak for the other generation. But I'm a never, you know what I mean? We don't have time for no sucker shit like that. Now a lot of people from the different police departments and all these different people want to insinuate like we extorting people. They have to check.
They be checking in. That's your favorite thing to do. Check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass.
Wow.
Yo, you think that guy, the guy that you don't know in California got your back?
He even called out both the media and law enforcement for trying to paint him into the picture when, truth be told, there was no proof, no charges, no suspects, nothing. And J. Prince Jr. made sure to speak up too. He completely shut the rumors down, saying flat out that neither Duke's death nor takeoffs had anything to do with dice games, setups, or anybody from his crew. According to him, it was all tragic timing, nothing more, nothing less. He made it crystal clear that his people weren't involved in any of it. Now, if we're talking legal paperwork, the Princes are clean. The police never named them as suspects, and there's no hard evidence linking them to what happened to Duke. But let's keep it real. That's not what this is about. This isn't about police reports or official statements. It's about perception. And when you're a power figure in hip-hop like J. Prince, people automatically assume you either know what's happening in your space or you control it. So when tragedy strikes that close to your orbit, the streets demand answers, even if there's no proof you had a hand in it. That's the double-edged sword of influence. Your name carries power, but that same power makes you the first one people point fingers at. So yeah, J. Prince's name got dragged all over the internet, not because evidence put him there, but because the energy around the whole situation just didn't sit right with anybody. The whole check-in culture that J. Prince is famous for started getting torn apart. People were asking, if checking in doesn't guarantee your safety, then what's the point? Is it really about showing respect, or is it just street politics disguised as tradition? At the end of the day, all anybody has right now is speculation. No receipts, no leads, just endless rumors and gut feelings. But one thing's clear, J. Prince is sick of being the scapegoat. He said it himself, just because his name rings bells doesn't mean he's the one ringing them. Still, let's be honest. The timing, the people involved, the Houston connection, it's too much for folks to just let slide. The streets are going to keep talking until they feel like they've got closure. And then Charleston White jumped in with his usual fire. He said Duke's death hit him hard because Duke was somebody who should have felt safe in that environment. Instead, he lost his life in a place where the energy was supposed to be protective. Charleston didn't bite his tongue. He straight up called it another sad case of violence in the black community.
Industry, these street homie that's projecting these rules and then coming here playing like they admirable men with street rules and street exit. Nah, homie, them little was set up that night.
And he pointed the finger directly at mob ties, especially J. Prince Jr. and his circle. According to Charleston, they've built an environment in Houston that's flat out dangerous for rappers and entertainers. He claims when artists check in with them, they end up in high-stakes dice games that are already rigged from the start. And he believes that's exactly what happened to Duke, that he walked in thinking he was safe, only to get set up and played from every angle. Charleston's been loud and consistent with this take. He says the bigger problem in the industry is how people are calling this protection, when in reality, it feels a lot more like extortion. And the craziest part, he believes way too many folks in the game are just letting it slide, because calling it out would mean admitting the whole system is crooked. So what do you think? Was Duke's death a tragic coincidence, or was he another victim of a dirty game dressed up as respect? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more. I'll see you on the next one, and make sure you click the video on your screen right now for even more messy celebrity drama. At the end of the day, Charleston White's take is clear. Duke's death wasn't some random act of violence. He sees it as part of a toxic cycle that the industry keeps ignoring, a cycle that needs to be called out. And when you look at everything surrounding Boosie right now, you can see why the feds are watching closer than ever. Boosie's had a long history with law enforcement, beating case after case, but let's be real, that kind of spotlight doesn't just fade away. The heat never really leaves, it just simmers until something new fans the flames. Now, with old stories about his brother Taquari Hatch resurfacing, like those messy fraud allegations and forged signatures, it's no surprise that investigators might start connecting old dots to new ones. Because the truth is, it's never just about the past. It's about who's in your circle right now, who's catching charges, and whether any of that spills into federal territory. And everybody knows how the feds work. Once they grab one thread, they start pulling at the whole sweater. Boosie, for his part, has never been the type to play nice with authority. His outspokenness and refusal to bow down only make him stand out even more as a target. That's part of why so many people think it's only a matter of time before all this noise around him forces the feds to go digging deeper. And then there's J. Prince. His name has become like a shadow. You can't mention Houston without it floating into the conversation. Legally, he's managed to avoid trouble for years, but his reputation keeps him under the microscope every time something major goes down. Whether it's Duke the Jeweler, Takeoff, or those infamous dice games, the same question always comes back around. How much control does J. Prince really have in his city? So far, there's been no official action against him, but when your name keeps popping up in story after story, the energy changes. Whether it's about checking in, being tied to high-stakes games, or simply being present when tragedy strikes, that kind of constant attention can't be ignored forever. And in the world of power, money, and influence, sometimes perception is just as dangerous as proof. Right now, it's hard to say if law enforcement is gearing up to really press harder, but one thing's undeniable. Everybody's watching. The streets, the blogs, the fans, all eyes are glued to what happens next. Will Boosie keep dodging the fire, or will the feds finally make a move? And what about J. Prince? Does he stay untouchable, or is there something bigger brewing behind the scenes that nobody's ready for yet? The tension is thick, and the questions just keep piling up. But I want to know what you think. Do you believe this is all smoke and mirrors, or are we on the edge of seeing some serious fallout? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, because I'm checking in to see where y'all stand on this one. And if you made it this far, you're a real one. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video so more people can tap in. I'll catch you on the next one, and trust me, it's gonna be even messier. Click the next video on your screen right now for more jaw-dropping celebrity drama.